Alright, you guys, I'm going to do another video. I kind of want to do this one about the general idea when you have a conversation unwittingly, I don't want to say unwittingly, I don't know, circumstances that you have these beyond your control. It's not like you go out there and just do it and have these conversations. You get into them and you know, whether they're religious or whether they're the other side of the tracks, sometimes you click, and sometimes for whatever reason, I don't know, you get into these conversations. It's not always on your own will. You just end up having them, and some of them are good. And we talk on YouTube all the time, and we're looking at the news, looking at YouTube, and we have our own ideas of what people are doing to the economy and how the world as we know it could end. I mean, it kind of stems for some of us. It stems from some of the things some of us are looking at, like I'm looking at these prepper videos and all that stuff, and a lot of people talk more about. I think that's how we have a lot of these conversations. We have a lot of our own ideas that make more sense, but I think that's how I get into these conversations. I don't know about you guys, but I'm always making this case, and I'm like a broken record, like talking to my girlfriend. That's why I say he's been talking to friends about how when you talk to a religious person, some of them are nice, and don't get me wrong, a lot of them are nice people that think a lot of this stupid shit, you tolerate them and you just like them. And even with my attitude, it says as long as they're nice to me, they're better off in their sheep pen. They call it church or whatever. And my thing is, that's why I wanted to tell you a quick nutshell ballpark way of my thinking when I was rattling this other shit in the video I was just saying. I believe that some of these people, nothing against them, they're better off in their church to isolate isolate themselves from the rest of the world, like rather than bowing down to the drug daddy or whatever. But what I'm kind of doing in this video, even though it's at a sloppy start, I don't want to say a bunch of shit that will get totally off the subject in the video. Try to avoid that. But the whole idea of a religion, when you get in the conversation, their whole intention, right? You take a little bit of their brochure or stuff like that. Some people can be your friends around in the street or whatever, or neighbors, but what's hidden inside of the religion, when you're talking to these people, there's I call it a polite demand to socialize without actually demanding it from you. When they said, oh, the whole basis of the conversation that they're having with you on their end is to convert you, or invite you to come to their church. And I've been that route. I said I lived in a certain neighborhood with certain kind of different people around, you know, cousin neighbors I visited once, and I wanted to know truths about things. I mean, I could probably make you a whole video about that where I've been there. And so you find a few good people here and there, but this video ain't all just about to pick on the religions, though, too. I have this case that I'm making that how people will rebel against the religion, right, and be sick of it, and how they wind up worshiping the drug daddy, even if they don't have a drug daddy they worship or somebody they're constantly buying drugs for. The bar, there is the pole of either side is extreme good or evil. And if you're a kind of person that goes to the bar once in a while after work, there's some people like us that we can't be totally addicted to a drug or even alcohol to a certain extent like other people. Well, I'm speaking for myself, and there's other people like me. The only reason you can get dependent on either side, put the video on YouTube, the story of your enslavement in parentheses, when you want to lump different kind of authority. But I always said I should write a video, the story of your enslavement, for the underculture like that worships a drug daddy, because those are farmers too, but without a license and without now you can get a license to be a drug dealer, whether it's the antidepressant meds, like if you want to look up an industry of death, even though that is under Scientology, I believe in those websites because they are telling you it's big business, and people can't control the drug daddy, so to speak. So the government figures it might as well make revenue off of it, and they had like a half a century year old war on drugs that they're in certain cases losing. So we'll allow marijuana and just get some revenue. But the reason why a lot of people will either in this side, which I think some of them that are nice to me are better off, stay in that church and don't get your kids addicted to that shit. It's bad news because you're becoming a sheep on the other side. Oh, the desire and the need to socialize and to have friends all the time, whether you're in the church or if you fall out from that and go to that side, a constant need. People have to have friends and have people around. And the reason why some of us are immune to both sides and don't let either side tell us what to do is that, you kind of, not like you hate people, you just don't fucking want them around you all the time. So that's why we can't fall into that, and we're rolling our eyes. But the difference between the one side and the other is even if you politely reject the one side in certain cities that you live, somebody can have you shot or beat up or whatever the hell. Like if you're unlike other places where some of us live, and we could safely snub the drugs or whatever. But religion doesn't like it when they even, some of these people you flick around on the channels of TV, they don't like it that, oh, I'm a good person. I don't do drugs. I don't commit crime. I don't do burglaries. Maybe I work my job and I get out of work and I get out of looking presentable and walk around with money in our pockets and all that stuff too. Just to go around and eat in our favorite restaurant that maybe you might have a restaurant that serves beer too once in a while, with a plate of food and all that stuff. And I don't get into that. They'll call you some kind of secular humanist, and they don't like it that you can. That's called worldly wisdom. You know what I mean? People don't like that because you're required to be in a sheep in a pen. You know what I mean? It's so some of us that are, and some people, when you're invited in a religion, you don't just have these conversations. You're in certain cases they, without outright demanding, you expect you to come to your church, maybe cut your hair, look presentable, and be a productive member of society, and suck up to them and be around these people all the time. But if you don't want to be around those people, if you have a constant need to be around people, then you're going to be with these people that get high all the time. And so now the people that legalize marijuana are a whole new human farm that's opening up, and these people will hold you up to ridicule, and they're a total religion now. And people even saying the marijuana worship, they're saying, it's the new holy sacrament now. And so now they're going to be just as bad as a religion and different attitudes and behavior. Either this side, you want to get high? There's something wrong with you. Or you want to join our church? There's something wrong with you. It's, this is the way it's being now. And the only way to, some of us manage to avoid, like I said, if some of you, the ones that are nice to you, you tolerate them. Says, you know what, you're nice people. You're better off. Keep you and your kids. Yeah, stay in the church by all means. I do believe that. Even I'm an asshole. I admit I'm a complete total asshole that way. That I'll talk about and criticize the church, but at the same time, I have a clause. If you're nice to me and I kind of like you, yes, you're better off. Stay in there. And God forbid that your kids don't go to college or go somewhere where you can be pulled into that or guilted and shamed into getting into that drug scenario there. Like now you got the whole new drug daddy that's opening right up with legalized marijuana now, and they're going to something wrong with you if you don't. It's a new human farm, you know, and like the video, the story of your enslavement says, to recognize the farm is to leave it, you know what I mean? So you could rebel against, say you don't want to be a sheep in this farm, but you could be, to rebel against one farm and leave it, you're going and sucking up and bowing down to another daddy. And then the rest of us that try to tell the truth, I mean, we can get socially mocked and smeared on the internet, you know, and for whatever reason. And, yeah, so it's all a farm, and I'm just saying this is like random jibber jabber, but yeah, like I could give a fuck if you smoke marijuana or not. You're overjoyed about that legalized recreational shit, but yeah, it's another fucking farm. And basically what it is like you have friends on both sides that ain't as bad as these other people. And then like there's this, before I end this video, there's this scenario too where you know these friendly alcoholics and people that do drugs in here that you know on the street, you all have these friends too, just like they're involved in the religions. You got these ones on the other side. They have a little bit more sense and they do this shit right, but they don't want you kind of click with them, right? Because they're like, they do that shit, but they don't want all kind of people around them all the time either. And there's still a danger where they're getting addicted to these other kind of drugs that they got to depend on these people and give up their self-respect. Where you give up your self-respect even with marijuana, where the people put shit in it that gets you addicted, or they use some other tactic to get you addicted. Like, oh, marijuana is the least addictive and the least bullshit. Anything that makes you that you have to smoke because you have to have friends, and anything that you have to have all the time other than food and other kind of things that you would want to buy yourself. Cigarette, like, you know, well, yeah, they do say the tobacco, cigarette is more addictive than even the marijuana. I could buy into that. But I don't know that people saying that marijuana is less addictive or whatever. How come now they're egging people on? It's against the law now. People, like I said, it's big business now, just like antidepressants and psychotropic drugs. Will arrest you if you do marijuana, right? And then now when it's legal, where somebody's making money, it's big business. Smoke as much marijuana as you can, and take antidepressants too, and get your kids to take all that shit too. It's big business, and get the whole social crowds to shame you and ridicule if you don't do it. You know, just like the little drug pushers that you went to school with in high school, you know, that shame you because you don't smoke cigarettes or because you don't smoke a joint or whatever. I mean, you can see the pattern they're in with the fucking pushers. If their friends ain't the pushers, you know, you got they're getting these other kids, like say if you're a young kid watching this, they're trying to shame you. If they're really shaming you that badly in a school, you can bet that somehow they're connected with a fucking pusher. So you can give a fuck if something's legal or illegal or not, or give a fuck about the church for that matter. But there's these lesser evils in this world that there's a part of us that want to choose a lesser evil. You know, like you say, whether it's a church or whether you got these people that you're friends once in a while that maybe drink or smoke a joint once in a while, take pills, or some of these people that use this other shit that you see in passing, you don't have nothing to do with their world or the world they're living in. It's just some of the ones, the only reason you know at all, they don't force the damn shit on you, you know, and you're just friendly with them. That's about it. It's about it, you know what I mean?